Hi, 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 hi. Welcome to Come On You Spurs TV, where we talk about everything Spurs. I've got with me tonight, I've got three guests, and we are going to look at the match between Everton and Spurs. Now, I'm not sure how to laugh or to cry, but hey, I'm pretty sure that by the time we get through this, hopefully I would cheer up a little bit. I've got with me tonight, I've got Deji, I've got Fola, and I also have Mr. Yinks. Before they join us, so I'm sure you can see them now, but hey, in the meantime, I just say, come on, ye Spurs. Right, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Um, right, where are we? Right, so what do we have here? We have Come On You Sports TV, where we talk about everything sports. If you're new here, subscribe to our channel, leave a like and a comment, and join the conversation as we discuss Everton versus Spurs. I mean, I'm going to start on a positive note. I'll try as best as I possibly can because I'll just start by saying that I've got three guests. They're all looking all very stern faced and not looking very happy. No, uh, I wonder why, but hey, let's take it away, Deji. How are you? Welcome aboard.
Uh, it's a difficult time to be a Spurs fan, but we are fourth. It could be a lot worse. So yeah, let's see the cup as being half full.
Oh well, that's a really positive way to look at it. Okay, Falabi, how are you?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm fine, health wise. I'm very well, thank you. My blood pressure, I suppose I'll take the blood pressure before I go to bed tonight. And I hope it's still what it was before the beginning of the game. I believe it is. So, as he says, I'd rather have the points on board. Yeah, we might be a couple of games in hand, but I'd rather have the points on board. And as you said, take the positives. We didn't lose. So
Okay.
Could easily
that's
have.
what I'm going to say.
Yinka, how are you?
Like my esteemed gentleman, I am very well. I'm fine, thank you very much. Other than our double dose of Dr. Tottenham this evening, delivering heartache for its supporters and 3 points for, or shall I say, a leg up for our opposition. Delivering on time as per usual.
Honestly, I really don't know where to start. I mean, the game started on a really positive note to begin with, and we were on the
Huh?
front foot for a change for a very long time. We didn't. I mean, we've had about three chances in the early part of the first half, up to the 16th minutes, and then Everton came back into the game and had a spare, but they didn't really threaten us that much. I mean, they didn't have any. I mean, Lloris didn't have any saves to make, or it's too compact at the end of the half. All right, so they had a bit of a spell, but really didn't threaten. And everyone said, "Oh, Tottenham always play very well in the second half," and hopefully we should go away in the second half and come and do the business. You know, um, so in summary, we had a bit of luck. In the sense that someone lost their heads in Everton. The Corey got sent off with 10 men, and then we had the penalty. Mr. Kane put it away, and yeah, I think plain sailing. We should now basically go for the jugular. Well, it's easier said than done, isn't it? But hey, let me just say
Wouldn't
this:
be problem.
wherever you're watching us from, leave your comments and let's hear from you wherever you're watching. Let us know where you're watching from, and yes, leave your comments in the comment section below. We'd really love to hear from you because tonight has been one of those nights when you think to yourself, hang on, here we are, we just lost Conte, right? On the basis of him having to go at the players for not delivering and just basically not performing, and then right the same match. I mean, okay, fine. You have, I mean, ideally you have a new manager bounce, you have all that sort of stuff, and then you come into another match and you just mess it up. What do you think happened here, Falabi? I mean, help me out, please. I mean, I don't want to. I hate the sound of my own voice. Please help me out here, please.
Well, to start with, I mean, you said we started off positive. As far as I'm concerned, that first half was shambolic, and the rest of the game was even worse. Um, as far as I'm concerned, personally, me, I've always said it. I agreed with what Conte said. You know, they're lazy. I'm sorry to say it. They're too much in their comfort zone. The players, they know come what may. If we lose a game, the worst will happen is that they may not get any bonuses, but they'll get their basic weekly wages. You know, and they just seem to have no fire in them, no spirit of the badge, no respect of the supporters who go week in, week out to support them, travel miles and miles, risk their lives to get to the stadiums, home or away games. I don't know if they take all these things into account. They just seem to put on the shirt, forget that the club has one of the best histories in EPL. They don't even seem to make an effort to show that any spirit, any fight, any enthusiasm. They walk around. They don't even run around. They just like strategically run here, run there, put in a tackle. Not even a full blood, a half-hearted tackle.
So you're saying there's a lack of energy, there's lack of drive, and lack of enthusiasm on their parts. Interesting. You're looking
completely
like you have this look on your face, like saying, okay, I'm not sure you agree, but hey, are you going to differ with what
do I look like Don Conte on the sidelines of the last few weeks? Just as like he's swallowed the what? You know, it's interesting. Today earlier on, while I was doing my work at home, I was listening to Eric Thomas. He's called Eric Thomas, the hip hop preacher. And he's like a motivational speaker. And he was speaking to, I think, an NFL team, the San Francisco 49ers. I also watched Anthony Joshua's fight today on the highlights. And I watched Israel Adesanya in his fight versus Antonio Pereira. And in the boxing, in the UFC, and in the NFL, I can say the similar thing for Tottenham right now and what my brother Deji just said. Tottenham have lost their edge. They have lost that fighting edge. You see, when you're at the top level of sport, like AJ, like Israel Adesanya, like San Francisco 49ers, the margins are very, very minimal. They're almost probably when you're at the top level of the boxing game or the UFC game or the NFL or the Premier League, the margins are so small. It remains what goes on between the 6 inches that go on here. The ability of the players that we're looking at should have beaten Southampton 2 weeks ago. They should have beaten Everton today on paper. But as you see, when a team has something to fight for, as in Southampton and Everton did, Tottenham could not match them in that mental side of things. And we saw the crumbling of that mentality, not only at Southampton, but it was purely an example of today. You're 1-up with 20 minutes to go, or however long it was, and you confide to lose a game that I can't see how you could lose unless you didn't have the bottle to actually see it through and fight it through. Admittedly, in the first half, I thought that we lacked quality and creativity, but we showed some application and a bit of fight. We showed that in the first half. But once it got to we were given a gift by Everton, by the foolishness of Doucouré. Foolish move. All right, it happened. Kane milked it for what it was. Same with Romero. He gave the referee no choice but to give the pen. So you've got the opportunity. Now you've got 10 men and a penalty. What do you do in that? It comes up here now. You know what Conte said 2 weeks ago? We saw it play out today. What he said, we saw it play out. And it cannot be blamed on the managers. We keep blaming the managers. We keep blaming the coaching staff. We keep blaming Enoch. We keep blaming everyone, but other than the players themselves. And so what I go back to what I said at the beginning of this with Eric Thomas saying to the San Francisco 49ers, when you are comfortable, you've got the car, you've retired, mum, you're living in a nice place. What are you now there to fight for? What are they fighting for? Are they fighting for fourth? Really? I didn't see a team fighting for fourth today on the pitch. If someone just came and looked at that game, could you tell me what team was fighting for top four and what team was fighting for relegation? I saw the team that was fighting for their relegation, for their Premier League status. I didn't see a team that was fighting to get back into Europe or to be at the top table of Europe. I didn't see that. So I think it comes down to what Conte was saying and what my brother was saying earlier, is that they have lost their edge. They've lost their fighting spirit. It's that. The funny thing is, as much as I'm ranting at the moment, we're still fourth. We must be the worst fourth team in the Premier League history. I don't think we've seen a worse team in fourth place in Premier League history than what we've seen at this moment. But by the grace of God, we're still there. And so, as you say, we live to fight another day. My mini rant is over. On to my other brothers as well. But yeah, we've just lost our edge. I could have said that in one sentence, but I didn't want it, to be honest.
Well said. You can. Now, for me, it's one of these things where do you want to start? Okay, so ultimately, the buck has to stop somewhere. If the players are not performing, what do? You don't start the whole team, do you? You know, if they're not doing what they need to do in terms of application, in terms of confidence, do you hire a confidence coach? Do you hire a motivational person to sort of work on them, on their heads? What do you do? You work on their mindsets. Okay, fine. You've got coaches who do this sort of thing for a living, and they get paid a lot of money to do this sort of things, and the idea behind that is that, look, a team that doesn't perform.
Sorry to cut short, sir. We had a mindset coach at Tottenham. He passed away. His name was Don Vetroni, the Marine. He was there to get players not only physically sharp, but mentally sharp as well. They were complaining about why they're running 2 kilometers before a game. It wasn't because of fitness. It's to get them mentally and readily sharp for a game to start. So we had that there. Unfortunately, he passed away. God rest his soul.
But if we had that, surely because someone passes away doesn't mean we can't be replaced. I'm sorry, people pass away all the time. I'm not saying that in a bad way. That means that if you look at a team, if you have the responsibility to run something, and your players are lacking in a particular area, you have to find a way to get the best out of your players. So the buck has to stop somewhere, right? So it's like Tiger Woods not playing so well. Okay, fine. He's very skilled. He's a top performer, but he gets the coach, who says, okay, fine. Okay, I may not be able to swing it this way, but if you do it this way, apply yourself in this particular fashion, you get the best. Deji, sorry to interrupt. I know you want to say something,
No, I've been listening very attentively to what Falabi and Yinka have said, and you as well. And because really it's something that's beginning to bother me, why Tottenham always ends up in this situation. And we may well say that it's the players, but I get the feeling that, yes, the players aren't performing, but the job of a coach is to get the best out of the players that you have. So if you end up with people who should be decent players, and a few of them are, even though some of them are completely just not up to it, a few of them are decent players. And so we should be able to find a coach who can bring the best out of them. Remember, when Conte first came in, Tottenham's stats went up, their running stats went up, and their competitive edge went up initially. And it was noted by many of the pundits, and the results came as a result as a consequence of that increased effort. Why? What happened along the road? Maybe it's Vetroni. What happened along the road to make them lose that edge and end up where they are now? Now, I was watching this game today, and we're slowly regressing back to where we were when Nuno left. The guys get the ball in defense, and they really don't know what to do with it. Every time they play the ball forward to try and hit one of the midfielders, or they try to hit one of the attackers, it comes back. It goes to an opposing player,
Right.
which means in almost every transition, we're losing the ball. Now, what makes that happen to a team of talented footballers? What makes it happen? Are they really that bad? Can't they play? They're not. And I'm sure those boys, in the hands of a good coach, would perform better. Now, I'm not going to allow any of them to hide. That Longley guy, we've given him the whole season, and it just isn't happening. He's still giving the ball away in dangerous situations, and he almost cost us a goal. So I wasn't surprised when they yanked him. I was only disappointed that it was Sanchez who was no better.
Imagine Sleepy Sanchez.
Well, look, let me tell you something. You are saying that you get a coach. How many coaches do you want? You had Pochettino. Towards the end of Pochettino's reign at Spurs, they were playing terrible.
They were, yeah.
When Pochettino got them playing so well, we were fine. Nuno, they were just terrible throughout. Well, sorry, Mourinho. What did they do? Again, this nonsense of no fight. No fight. Then we had Nuno. No fight, no passion, no desire. Now we had some of it last season with Conte, where we had desire, we had passion, we had fight. It is a mental. It is sports is sports is as much as fitness and ability and everything. It's also mental. The mental, the desire. Michael Jordan says one thing. You know, you want to play on his team, Chicago Bear. You want to play. You come with fire. You come with spirit. And he's going to shake you up. And if you're not ready to fight and you're not ready to spill blood, sweat, and tears, then you're not going to be on his team. I watched the other day when Michael Jordan, at halftime, his foot, his socks was soaked with blood, but he kept on playing throughout the whole game. I watched the other day when Kobe, may his soul continue to rest in peace, had dislocated his finger.
Yeah,
During
I
the
mean, I saw it
game,
the other day as well.
the doctor put it
Pulled
back
it out
in.
and played.
Put it back, and Kobe went back onto the court. Kobe had Achilles tendon cut. He said he's going to go and take the 2 free throws because the Lakers needed those 2 free throws to get back. He took the 2 free throws, and he refused to have any assistant to walk off the field, off the court, and he walked himself limping off the court. That's what I call blood, sweat, and tears. You're playing for your badge. These guys aren't playing for anything. They're not even paying for their salaries anymore. How is it? How is it possible that the bottom teams, when it comes to playing Spurs, they play like a top 4 team, but when they're playing against any other top 6 teams, they're just rubbish because Spurs don't have any passion, any desire. And I've said it again, and I'll keep saying it and saying it. You only play as well as your opposition allows you to play. We allowed the opposition to play. We allowed them to play
Absolutely.
us. We started playing worse after we scored. When we were one
Yeah.
man up, we started playing
Yeah.
worse. We started allowing them
Yeah.
to dominate the game and bring the game to us. Now,
And they had
where
10
you
men.
don't need a coach for this. Crying out loud, you do not need a coach. Apart from the fact that we have a blind coach on the sideline that does not see to make correct changes, and he brings on the Sanchez. And I mean, come on, you don't need a coach for this. Let's face facts. Let's be truthful with ourselves. It is not the coach. It is not Levy. Levy brought in the players. He may have bought one or two club signings, but majority of the players that he brought in at the beginning of the season were the players that were asked for. Because Conte had a rant. Yeah, he's entitled to have his rant because he's fed up. If I, as a supporter, am fed up, and I am only seeing this once every week, him seeing it day in, day out, how do you think he's feeling? And you know what the most frustrating thing about this all is? This team on paper can beat anybody in that EPL. That is the most frustrating thing about this. This team on paper, the quality of these players on paper can go out there if they get their mental frame together and they get their act together and they're willing to just crawl up because they have no energy to walk off the field after the 90-minute whistle. That's what I call blood, sweat, and tears. What did Morocco do in the World Cup? What did they do against all these opposition teams? They came out because they believed in themselves and they said, okay, they might have better quality players than us, but we're going to fight tooth and nail.
You're going to
How can
run
you
and
be
run and run.
1-0 up? How can you be 1-0 up, 20 minutes, 25 minutes to go, one man up, and then you allow them to press you and play better than you? Oh, and you're telling me you need a coach? You need a coach, and you're on
Mm.
200,000. You're on 200,000 pounds a week. Minimum of those players is on 100,000 pounds a week. You need a coach for what? To teach you how to sign your check when you collect it at the end of the week. Where does that money come from that you get paid? Where does it come from? And then tomorrow, Harry Kane will now give us an interview and say, "Oh, sorry guys, and we did our best, and we march on." You can march on. You just collected 200,000 pounds.
Ultimately, the buck has to stop somewhere, right? And without a doubt,
It stops with the players. It stops with the players.
Yeah,
That's where
the players
it stops. Let's stop this Let's stop this babysitting these players. I said it from the beginning of this season. Let's stop this babysitting of these players. And Conte is absolutely right. It's in the mentality. You come to Spurs, the mentality is they'll teach you. How can Enrique Goodison from Everton, the way he used to run up and down, now start playing the way he plays for Spurs? It's because they now come and say, "You just don't worry." It stops with the players. Let's be truthful with ourselves.
We have to look at
Stop blaming those players.
Go on, Yinka.
There's been some. We look at this season, and we're into the final 10 games. I go back to games like Sporting in the Champions League, like Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, like Sheffield United, like Milan, like Southampton, and the amount of games that we have drawn and lost. Not one of those teams were really better than us on paper. Sporting wasn't better than us. Nottingham Forest wasn't better than us. Sheffield United were playing their kids. Southampton that hadn't scored a home goal since October. There is a uniform thing going on. It's not about quality. It's about mindset. And these guys are not up to it. They're not up to it. It's not the first. What I saw today against Everton was not the first time. It's like we knew what was going to happen. You knew when the pressure was on, when they were giving pressure, we knew that there was. It's interesting because you take this 12 months back when Tottenham all had the new manager bounce with Don Conte. What were we doing in the last minutes of games against Leicester? We were the ones scoring in the last minute. We were the ones that were putting pressure on teams. Why is it now that the teams are putting pressure on us 12 months later? Because they've lost their edge. They were fighting for their place in the team with Conte because they didn't know whether they're going to be around this season. Now that they know they're around, where are they today? And then they're complaining that the manager, they don't like what the manager's saying or doing. That is either me or the manager. Anyway, to me, the buck has to stop with the players.
Keep your comments coming in. This is Come On You Spurs TV. Forward? If you're watching us, wherever you're watching us from, please leave your comments.
What do you do? What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah.
You know what you do?
So what did you say, sir?
Do we sack the whole team?
No, not sack the whole team.
No, but that's the point. No, that's the point. Because when you look down the road, what did they do? They sacked the whole team other than 3 players. Xhaka, and the other player. They got rid of the lot of them. They got rid of the lot of them. They just kept their young boys and they reinvested in the whole team. Aubameyang, the lot. So why should we not do the same? There's something. It's like madness to do the same thing over and over again and not change anything. We're actually mad. Tottenham are actually mad at the moment. Someone posted something today about the Audi Cup when we won the Audi Cup. That's the last thing we won. There's still players in that Audi Cup team that are playing on the pitch today. Lucas Moura, from 5 years ago, Audi Cup nonsense, is playing on the pitch today, and we're going forward.
Is Kane not Audi Cup? Is Lloris not Audi Cup?
I was actually surprised at that substitution when he brought what's his name on?
Moura.
What's his name? Yeah, Moura. When he brought Moura on, I thought, this is a good chance to give Danjuma a run out. What have you got Danjuma?
We stole him from Everton. We stole him from Everton. This is the perfect game to play him against Everton.
Exactly. Exactly. Game. Because he'll be fired up. Honestly.
Now Moura is on his way out. He's got only these are the last few games he's going to play in the Tottenham shirt. He's not getting a new contract. But you've got Danjuma sitting on the bench, and you bring Lucas Moura on to come and do that.
Why? We went through a battle to steal him from. The joke is that we took him from Everton under their nose, Abby. We took him from under the nose. This is when a player wants to prove his worth to those fans to say, "Look at me." Even if he doesn't care about Tottenham, it's for his own self-pride. Yeah. We didn't play him. And anyway, I think Moura's retired himself today, unfortunately. I don't know whether he's going to play again after his foolish error today. I think that's goodbye to Moura. Thank you for your services.
I think it was just unfortunate.
No,
he was totally mistimed. I mean, it's not last time player. It was an unfortunate error at a difficult point in the game. I mean, it didn't cover itself in glory on that occasion. Keep your comments coming in. Come on, Spurs TV. With so many thoughts about today's match. I mean, a lot of frustration, obviously, from Spurs fans across the world. I'm pretty sure that no one has a lot of good things to say. Even the most positive Spurs fans will tell you today that look, today is almost like a new low in the way I can't even analyze the game, because I'm really thinking to myself, what is there to analyze, basically? Because think about it. Okay, why?
I'll tell you one thing I noticed, sir. I'll tell you one thing I noticed, and it's an indictment on our squad. That in a squad of 25 players in a Premier League team, we do not have one creative footballer in that squad, other than Harry Kane and Kulusevski. That is an indictment. That is a disgrace. That we cannot bring. We don't even have a youth team player that we can say is a number 10, or just a footballing baller. I'm not complaining about PEH and Oliver Skip. We know their roles. We know their capabilities. They do it to the best they can. but they're not creative footballers. When you're 10 men up, when you're a man advantage, the easiest thing to do when you're an advantage is keep the ball. Is that an agreement between us that we keep the ball?
Yep.
That we didn't have one player that we can bring off the bench that's got that capability. We've not had one for like 2 seasons. We've not had a creative midfielder or a footballer for 2 seasons. And this is a team that wants to go for top 4. I'm sorry, that is an indictment on our playing squad.
We actually do have, but he's out on loan because he's so damn lazy.
Undon Big Bum.
Belly. He's talking about belly, end on belly.
I think he's building a McDonald's factory for himself.
No, it's Chicken.
Yeah, with that is, brilliant player.
You know the one across the road from the stadium? That place, that's a good franchise to buy. If I'm going to buy a chicken franchise, that one across the stadium at White Hart Lane, you know where the Twins own, that chicken, the best chicken you'll ever taste, man.
That one that's directly opposite the stadium. That's not a bad chicken place. That's a bad chicken house. Yeah. That's not bad. You'll probably get more excitement and more entertainment and more passion of people wanting chicken than you do on the field of those Spurs players. I'm sorry, but sometimes the truth just has to be let out. As Conte says, he can't defend them anymore.
Exactly.
Today's play.
Conte called it. Conte actually called it.
I hear you.
Wait, today's game and Southampton's game, that's 4 points dropped. That's 4 points dropped for no reason. Okay, that's 4 points dropped for no reason. Because, the reason is pure indifference, pure no fight, no mentality of, when I also say fight, I also say fight in the mind, in the head. That you've got to have that mentality of keeping this together. Let's keep this together. And it's very unfortunate because it comes to the stage that they just say, let me just get off this field. The sooner they blow the final whistle, the better. That's the attitude I get from those players. How can you be 3-1 up? How can you be 3-1 up with 5 minutes to go and you end up drawing 3-3? You're now 1-0 up.
One of the bottom teams in the league.
Advantage. Yeah, you've got 1 player advantage and you've got 28 minutes to play and you end up drawing 1-1. I'm sorry. You do not
effectively given away 2 games.
You do not have a winning mentality in your head. It just shows it.
So guys, where do we go next?
We go to Brighton.
Well, I hear you, Deji. So what I meant is this: look, we've got a team that is obviously low on confidence, right? In terms of application, is coming up is Spurs rather than right across the board consistently over the course of the whole game, because this is the same team that we had at the end of last season, and we had improvement over the summer. They brought a lot of players in over the summer. They brought in Perisic, they brought in Richarlison, they brought in Langley, they brought in quite a lot of players. And you think that the squad would obviously see the benefits of having these players. I mean, okay, Bentancur was there last season.
You forgot to go to Basuma. Is Basuma injured?
Basuma is injured.
Yeah, he's injured. Yeah.
But you still haven't
Pretty
seen
much at the end of the season.
the impact of these new players on the team. I mean, okay, fine, we had a good, reasonable start.
Not one.
But all of a sudden we seem to be going really, really backwards. Now, Conte is gone now, and we've got to look forward. Who do we look to? Because there's so many managerial vacancies out there at the moment, right? given what's gone on in the last few days. Leicester sacked Mr. Rogers.
Hey, let's stop
Mr.
this
Potter
Rogers nonsense.
got let go at Chelsea. So honestly, I don't want any of those two managers in our club. I don't want them personally in our club, right? But if I won't be surprised if we go for Brendan Rodgers. What do people think? I mean, is that a possibility? And if so,
Hey.
Stop
that nonsense.
So again?
Stop that Rodgers. I say stop that Rodgers. Just stop that nonsense.
Honestly.
Just stop that too. Stop that Rodgers nonsense. Stop it. Let's stop it. I warned Chuma yesterday on it. I clearly warned Chuma yesterday.
Falabi, do you want to move closer to your mic? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yes. You're saying.
I no. Let's just stop this Rodgers nonsense. Let's just stop it. Because yesterday I clearly warned Chuma not to start that debate. You know, and that's
so Falabi, who would you like? Who would you like? Who do you think we need?
You know. I would have, you know something. Clearly, I don't mind Poch back, but I always feel that Poch is rather soft. Well, Poch's training is very intense as well. Poch's training is highly intensive, and I wouldn't mind Poch coming back. You know, I really wouldn't mind Poch because the other guy I wouldn't have minded. It seems that Chelsea will get him. You know,
Nagelsmann.
It seems as if Chelsea. Pardon?
Nagelsmann, the former Bayern guy.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what you're thinking. I didn't think he'd come to Spurs anyway.
You know, I think Chelsea will get him. And then I'm just trying to see basically who else is out there. Because to come in and manage, well, I hope it's not this lot anyway. As you know, they've got to go. At least you got to get rid of Sanchez. You got to get rid of Dyer. You got to get rid of Longley. You know, you've got to get. You know, you got to get rid of. I mean, when I say get rid of, I mean you can just even let them go for free. You got to get rid. I'm sorry, Hugo's time is up. No, they can go for free. Seriously, you don't need any money from them. You know, they can go for free. They can go for free. Lucas is going. They're not renewing his contract. Højbjerg, you got to get rid of. I'm sorry, you got to get rid of Højbjerg. You know, no, seriously. Soji, you're laughing. Soji, you're laughing.
I think Højbjerg can still have a role. He can be covered for somebody.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so
no, what my brother is saying, it's not who you let go, it's who's the lucky ones that are going to stay. Nonsense. It's who is lucky enough to stay at Tottenham. All of them can go. Who should stay?
Well, Bentancur stays. Romero stays.
Yes.
Cuckoo stays.
Yes.
Son stays.
Yes.
I don't even mind if Harry Kane goes. Ricardison stays. You know,
only because we got him last season. We have to get our money back.
Even though Real Madrid may come for him, Danjuma he stays. Danjuma stays. Bissouma stays. You know, Skip stays. You know, Skip stays.
So that's the whole team that stays.
No, not at all. Not at all. I said, no, not at all. No. When I say this is squad, these aren't starters. Skip is not going to be a starter. Skip is not a starter.
Right.
You cannot have Son, Richarlison, Danjuma, and Cuckoo,
So
all of them starting at the same
in
time.
theory,
So
so let me get this straight. If you're going to do a call on the squad at the moment, right? You're going to say, okay, for instance, you say that Lloris should go, right?
Lloris goes,
Sanchez goes, Sessignon
Sanchez
goes,
goes,
Perisic goes,
Sessignon they can also go. Yes.
Perisic goes,
Who?
Perisic.
Perisic can, yes, he can either stay or go. I tell you who's going. Dyer is gone. Dyer goes.
So that's our entire back line. I mean, so who stays in that back line? Poro,
We don't have a
Emerson.
back line. That's the whole point. You do not have a back
We
line.
need
That is the whole.
we need a new central defense.
We need to rebuild. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. We need to scratch this thing and rebuild from. So when you ask Soji about the manager, if we're talking about, relieving half of our playing staff, you need someone that can do a project. You need a project manager for this job.
Who would you recommend for that?
You don't think outside the box. You have to go to like Colombia or Bolivia or Japan and find somebody there, like they did with Wenger. You have to go far, like Namibia, and find somebody there in one bush football team and let him come and rebuild the whole thing. But in all seriousness, you know what? Ancelotti. I would like to say Ancelotti because he's managing the Premier League and Real Madrid may let him go. Proven winner. But to be honest, Tottenham is so toxic, nobody wants to come. No top manager worth their salt that loves their career wants to come to Tottenham and allow their career to be tarnished by coming through the doors at Spurs Lodge. It's like a manager's graveyard. Managers that are top class. We had a world class manager last week that had enough. Imagine we took a world class manager, we sent him mad within one. Within 1 year,
Less than 18 months. I mean,
this guy was the top manager. Within 1 year, we say we're Tottenham are in trouble. They're in trouble because we just. I don't know, man. Sorry, Deji, I can't hear you.
Top manager, a manager that has won the league in every league he has gone to. He has won it. Even the EPL, he has won it. Give the man some respect. Give the man some respect here. Stop blaming Conte. Yeah, everybody knows I'm a Conte fan and everything. But look at his record. The man has won the league. 9 seasons, he's won 7 leagues. Give the man some respect, please. And now you're telling me he's the manager. It's the players. He's got because those players, come on.
Falabi, Conte was a complete mismatch for Tottenham, and that's all that went wrong. He should never have come, and we should never have hired him. Because
he wasn't the right fit. He wasn't the right fit.
They were never going to give him the money he needs to build the kind of team he wants to build and win in a season or two. That's what Conte does. That's what he's done everywhere. And I'm sure they must have promised him heaven
sorry
and
to
high
interrupt you, Deji.
water.
Sorry to interrupt you, Deji, but
I
actually disagree with that a little bit because Conte single-handedly is the manager that's got the most money out of all the managers who are employed in Tottenham. In one transfer window he's had.
That may well be so, but it wasn't enough for him. He wanted players like Lukaku. He wanted ready-made players who are going to score goals and perform for him immediately. Now, a team like that is going to cost you on average 50, 60 million for each player he wants. Yes, we gave him a couple of 60 million, maybe 45 and 60 million players, but that was not even nearly enough for Conte. Not nearly enough. So I take your point that, yes, he was well-funded and he was well-supported as far as Tottenham is concerned, but not at his level. That was his problem. That's why he left. You give him Jed Spence.
No,
He doesn't
that's
want
not
to
why he
know.
left.
But we don't have that
Sorry?
sort of money. Everyone knows that we don't have the money of City. We cannot afford to pay
And
That
he
someone
is
knew
why
that,
it
salaries.
and
was
he
a
knew that when
mismatch.
he came in.
Soji, that is why it was a mismatch. He had no business with us, and we had no business with him.
It brings me back to the question: where do we go from here? Do we go back to Poch? If we go back to Poch, some people say failed marriages, don't go back again. I mean,
Well, apparently they're not even going back to Poch. I think Livy has pretty much made it clear that, or the word on the street is that he's not having Poch back. So we're looking at maybe the De Zerbis of this world. If De Zerbi will come from Brighton, I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. If we'd had maybe Chuma on, he knows the managers that are out there. This Fonseca guy that they spoke to, there's been talk about the guy at Sporting, but I don't think those guys are going to leave those clubs that are on the up and come and work for Levy now.
Why? Yeah, it's true. Why are you going to leave Champions League? You're comfortable in your job to go and get Wahala with Daniel Levy and Enoch. They're not looking for that. You might as well go and get Nuno nothing. Nuno is bring him back.
The only kind
No,
of manager that we're going to attract is like De Zerbi at Brighton, who sees Tottenham as a stepping stone. He thinks that, okay, if he does a good job at Tottenham and he can get us into the Champions League and perhaps win us a trophy, it's worth a gamble for him. He goes off somewhere else from there. But for somebody,
you make such a good point.
The Benfica guy, they
You
talk
make
about
a
him,
good
the
point.
Porto guy, they're not going to come here. They're not going to come to Spurs.
You know,
And that's why
we've got to a point.
Nagelsmann was never going to come to Tottenham. Not ever. For what?
Even to show. See, we got to a point whereby managers coming down to Tottenham, it's like similar to Conte and similar to Mourinho. It's like almost they're doing us a favor by coming to us. I'm Mourinho, I'm doing you a favor coming to Tottenham. I'm Conte, I'm doing you a favor by coming to Tottenham. The power balance was not equal there. We need, as my brother said, we need a manager that is on the up, that is hungry, that wants to prove himself in world football, that hasn't made his name yet. All these managers that have made their name, like your Ancelottis, like your Nagelsmann, like your Tuchel, they've made their name already. Why are we going to go there and go and destroy your brand? Tottenham is a brand destroyer.
They won't come. They won't come to Spurs.
We can't hear you, Mr. Todd.
Soji, you're muted.
Sorry, I think it's really frustrating on many levels that we have a situation whereby we have no manager at the moment, right? We have a temporary team in place, and they're going to be in there until the end of the season, right? Chelsea have the same sort of situation, but they can go into the market and just pick up a manager, and next thing you know, have Nagelsmann or somebody else coming in, and they can reach a deal. I guess in a way, money talks in that respect, right? However, I mean, I think one of the standard rules in football management is that you don't sack a manager until you have the replacements. I thought that was like pretty much like standard fare. I mean, yeah. So why sack Conte when there was nobody in place? I mean, I don't get it. Unless, of course, there's something that we don't know.
No. I think Conte sacked himself right now. Now let's be honest about what happened with Conte. That Conte rant. Which team is he going to go back to in the dressing room and are going to play for him after what he did? He fired himself. His position was no longer tenable after that rant. There was no way he was coming back to manage Tottenham. He hung the board, the ownership, the people who pay his salary. He hung them out to dry. The players who go out and run and are supposed to run through brick walls for him, he hung them out to dry. He could say what he said in the dressing room. He could say it as loudly as he wanted, but he couldn't.
But that was 2 weeks ago.
That was
2 weeks ago. Now,
okay, let me ask you something. Who did they run bricks and mortars for today? Who did those players run brick and mortars for today? Who did they go through hellfire for today?
No, No, you've made your point, Falabi, which is that you don't believe that it's got anything to do with the coach. I don't agree.
No, I
But
don't say
that's
that.
your
I
point
said it
now.
also has. I said the bulk stops at those players. I didn't say it has nothing to do with the coach. I didn't say it has nothing to do
Okay.
with the
Well,
coach.
that's it.
I said the bulk stops at those
Yeah.
players because
Fair enough.
how many coaches have they got rid of? They've got rid
But
of
where does that leave us
Pochettino.
in terms of finding a solution? I.e., because I mean, I as a team owner, I'm
Until
looking
you
at
get rid
so
of those
how do we
players,
step in and make things happen? What's going to happen? Are we going to hire a mindset
It
coach?
is as clear, Soji, it is as clear to me as night follows day. You need a coach that is on the up, a coach who's got a point to prove and who has a half decent track record.
Listen,
First on my list
go on.
would be Deserby. If we could get him, that would be the number one. He doesn't have his reputation has not been tarnished in any way. If Potter hadn't gone to Chelsea and messed up, it would be somebody like Graham Potter, but Chelsea, I think, now tarnishes him. Even Brendan,
well, thank God for
apologies.
that. Thank God for that. That's what I will say. Thank God for that. That's a,
I'm sure there are lots of good,
guys.
upwardly mobile coaches out there that we can look to that can come and do a job.
Like who? Like who?
That's it. Like Deserby now. How many
All right,
times do you want me to say the
but
same
Deserby
thing?
is in a job, so you got to price him out of the job
No.
where it is. So you got to pay compensation
Yeah.
to Brighton, bring him in, and then
Oh,
hope that
yeah.
you give him money. Okay, fine.
Absolutely. What else are you going to do?
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. You got who do you have in mind if we have to find a replacement now?
Huh? I can't help you. Honestly, we are such a trash show at the moment. I don't know what direction we're going in. Are we starting and rebuilding again?
You
Are
are
we
the
trusting
leader.
the old?
You are the leader, right? Everyone's having a go at Levi, so consider his crap. So what do we do to go forward? I mean, if you were in Levi's shoes now, today, where we are now?
Sell the club to anybody that wants to buy. If I'm gonna, in all, take my money and go to the Bahamas and live with Uncle Joe in the Bahamas. Uncle Joe is enjoying though. Uncle Joe is enjoying. Nobody knows what Uncle Joe is, but he's doing okay, you know. No, to answer your question,
the question is this: what if you were in Levi's shoes today? What would you do? That's the question.
I would. It's a difficult one because what he was hoping for is that we have this manager bounce with Stellini. And Stellini, you know, is a fresh voice in the changing room. The players have responded to him in the past, so he was going to ride it out. He's got to ride it out to the end of the season with Mason and Stellini. It made me laugh today. I was watching the game today, and they're both shouting from the sidelines. And I'm like, who's these players even listening to? Are they listening to Mason or are they listening to Stellini? So that is already a mess in itself. Let's go. The player, Mason was pointing one way, and Stellini was pointing the other way. I said, if I'm Harry Kane, which one am I looking at like this? Mason was pointing one way, and Stellini was pointing up the pitch the other way. I was like, this is a nonsense. You just have to wait until the end of the season. Just got to ride it out. You got to ride it out, and then start again, and then hope and pray by some miracle that we are in this Champions League position. That it's not in our hands, obviously, but obviously if Newcastle mess up, Man United get deep into competitions that they start.
Yinka, what good does a Champions League really do? What good does a Champions League really do, Tottenham?
All it means is that you get maybe a little bit better caliber players and a better manager. It's nothing to do with the competition. Please don't get me wrong.
Your owner isn't going to pay for them. So what difference does it make? He's not going to pay for those Champions League players. When you put them on your wish list, it's going to tell you, no, get Danjuma.
For free.
That's the problem. So I wonder, what's the big deal? Why don't we just build like Arsenal did? I keep saying, they haven't been in the Champions League for 6 seasons. They're going to win the league.
Yeah. You know why? You know
Six
why?
seasons.
The only thing for Champions League is to pay for that stadium that's pictured behind Uncle Soji's head there. That's the only reason for Champions League,
Luckily,
because it's paying.
luckily for us, the stadium can almost pay for itself now between Beyonce, go-karting, American football, the whole 9 yards, Wizkid. The stadium is paying for itself. Let's
Ah,
get some half-decent
even
players on the
I'm going
pitch
whiskey.
that
Even
can
I'm
play
gonna
the way we
help.
want them to
I'm gonna
play
help with the
and build
repayments by
from
going whiskey.
Wizkid is coming. I hope you guys know.
Yeah, but the truth of the matter is that look, the stadium is not going to pay for itself in 1 year. It's not going to pay for itself in 2 years, right?
No.
It's over time. That's the first point, right? Secondly, part of the projections, as you probably well know, is that we remain in Europe, preferably in the Champions League, for a good period of time to enable us to remain competitive, right? Not just on the pitch, but also in order to attract players. And players go for many reasons. So even if you go for lower wages, I'd rather go for lower wages and play for a Champions League team than go for Southampton. You know what I'm saying? If you're good, so it's you probably get what you might call. I mean, if you have 3 tiers, you probably get tier 2 or tier 3 players who are good if you have to choose. Or even if you had a tier 1 player, he or she or he won't go for the top teams anyway because they offer better wages than we would offer. If we're competing for the same player, to come to us, we can't pay the wages that City will pay. We won't pay the wages that Man United will pay. So we'll always be second choice or third choice in any player situation, where we are now. Unless we get an oil sheik or something, we just don't have the competitive the financial clout to compete with those other teams, and that's a fact, right? Now, why we're not doing everything that we can to bring back Poch? I honestly, I really don't know. I know people say that Poch has been, he's had his time, and but I think he knows us inside out. He knows the team. He understands Levy, and where he is, where we are now, is not where we were when he left us. I'm Poch the sort of player who can get, sort of manager rather, who can get the best out of players. Especially when um, they're not really that well known. I mean, all of the teams he's been to, all that he's managed, he's always had what you might call relatively unknown players, and he's brought the best out of them. Young players. I look at Dele Alli, Lamela, even Hurricane.
Mane.
Yeah, Mane.
Hey, don't say that. So what did Poch do at PSG? He had the best players in the
Lucas
world.
Moura.
No, I'm saying no. I'm saying that he has a way of bringing out the best in the younger players, people who are not that well known. I didn't say
Because
star
he
players,
he has man management. He has man management. He has excellent man management. Poch has excellent. Is a known fact in the football industry, managers and everything is a known fact. Poch has one of the best man managers um, um,
skills.
skills.
Yeah.
You
All right.
know,
So for
and
me,
he has
I
that
would, I would,
ability.
I
He
would, I
has
would
that
say that
ability.
we do our best to hire Poch because he knows the team, and I think it's one of those dream things in the sense that I really because he has unfinished business in that he got I mean kicked out when things weren't really going that great at the time. But I know that people will say, okay, yes, I mean, the reason he got kicked out was because we were 14th in the league at the time. But I mean, I'm not sure that's the whole story, So I would
But
lean towards Poch.
we were playing quite badly. We were playing quite
Yeah,
terribly,
without a
badly.
doubt. Yeah, but don't forget
Yeah,
that he had that same team and he hadn't replenished in a very very long time. So yeah. Um,
Yeah, two seasons without any
you
buys and everything, and Poch still managed to do what he did at Spurs. An excellent return. Excellent return. He
Soji,
didn't buy. He didn't
you
recruit
make
for
a
2 seasons.
you make a compelling point. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You make a compelling point about Poch. Yeah, I think he probably would be a good one to consider. I don't know how Levy's mind is working, but like I say, what I've been reading is that he doesn't seem to think it would be the right thing to do. But you do make a good point. It's a lot more straightforward even than Deserby, because Poch isn't tied to anybody. He's a free agent now. if you get him on board, he knows the club, he knows what Levy is about, and he knows what he's getting himself into. I think he has a half decent beginnings of a squad already in place. I think it's the defense, the central defense, that he needs to work on, and the creative midfield. And if he can cobble what we have together with those type of players, yeah, we would have something going. So I don't know. Maybe the rumors will be proved wrong, and he'll come riding in on his trusty white steed. But remains to be seen.
Oh
You're right.
gosh,
Pochettino is plug and play, isn't it?
absolutely.
It's just plug and play with Pochettino.
Right. So we're next match is against Brighton at home, right? Now, I mean, it's they're fighting for Europe as well, and a couple of games in hand against us. The way we're playing now, we can't even guarantee the results. We haven't won. Okay, we haven't been playing reasonably decent at home. It's just the away form that has been really, really poor. And so I don't know what's going to happen next. To be honest, I think someone needs to sort of get a grip of that team and just get them to knock it down. How they're going to do it, I haven't got a clue. But today's display, disappointing, doesn't even begin to sort of cut it at all. Shambolic is. I mean, I hardly ever go negative on Tottenham, honestly. And today it was just. I really couldn't get it. I mean, you're 10 men, you're playing against 10 men. It's like, how did that even happen? That you let them into the game? And they're not City, they're not like Real Madrid, or, excuse me, I'm sorry, but it's Everton. No disrespect to Everton, How can they be all over us?
Pretty much just hand them the advantage. Absolutely. Just hand them the advantage.
Something's got to happen.
But guys, I was going to ask what you guys think. What does Harry do? What does Harry do? He's got 1 year on his contract. He's 30 years old. Does he stay or does he go?
Good question. I think. I mean, I don't know. Yinka, you want to take this one?
I don't know whether it's entirely in Harry. We're talking about Daniel Levy here. He doesn't have to sell him if he doesn't want to. You might even hang on to him for another season and let him go, cut down price, depending on who comes in the door.
No.
Obviously, on the manager side of things, I think that might dictate whether Harry stays or goes. Whether the right man comes in to coach the team. But at the end of the day, he's done his time. He's served. I was saying to people today, he's doing 2 or 3 jobs in the team. He's the one that's creating the goals, scoring the goals. He's doing. You can't deny that Harry has not put in a shift this season. Compared to last season where he down tools because he thought he was going to Man City, and we could clearly see he had the hump, and he wasn't really on fire. But this season, he has actually performed the most optimum player in our whole squad. He's doing as much as he can. I can't fault him for that. So if he's delivering on the pitch, you have to give him his respect and let him go if he has to go. I'm sorry. As much as it hurts, Harry might need to leave to just decorate his dusty trophy cabinet.
That's a good point, Yinka. However, there's this other perspective. That he wants to win everything possible with Spurs. He wants to do that. Spurs won. If he goes to another team within the Premier League, where could he go to? Possibility now. Where we are in Premier League today.
I think he goes to United straight up.
Right. So he goes to United, right? So fine, and he ends his career with United. That's the.
No, he'll come back to Tottenham, Sheringham style, and he'll come and play for
Sheringham, yeah. With his old legs, and knocked ankles, chocolate ankles.
All day long. Look, he has a year on his contract. If Shorty doesn't sell him in the next year, he leaves for nothing. I don't see him signing a new contract unless he's going to sign a new contract with a sell-on clause of however many million. But if I'm Harry, I'm not signing a new contract. I'm saying, sell me now. If you get 75, 80, 85 million for me, take it and let me walk. I go and win things at United, hopefully, because we don't know what United is going to turn up, and maybe even goes to Newcastle. And he has a better chance of winning because we have to break our team up and start from scratch. He's not going to win things at Tottenham in the next 2 years, not in the next 3. He's certainly not going to win the league in the next 3 years.
Anyway,
Sorry?
I said the way things are looking, right?
The way things are, no. So he has to go.
I mean,
I think
this for me has probably been the most negative season I've ever come across in all my years of supporting Tottenham. I've never seen a season like this ever.
Sorry, sir, we're forgetting one more scenario for Harry Kane. And the most important scenario for Harry Kane, we're forgetting one more scenario. Harry Kane is a Tottenham supporter. What does he care about winning things? He's Spursy. He'll stay anyway. Well, he's a Tottenham supporter. He's in the same boat as us. What does he care about winning?
We'll soon find out. We'll soon find out.
No, in all honesty, there was a documentary that they had on Harry Kane with Totti from Roma. And you know that Totti is a famous one-club man. And Harry Kane had so much admiration for Totti for what, the 20 years that he spent at Roma. And he always said he wanted to emulate that in his own career. But obviously, Totti waited until he was 34 or in his mid-30s before he started winning with Roma. It was only until maybe he's like 34 when they won the league with Roma at the time. So maybe Harry Kane waits it out, and then maybe like in his late 30s, he scores the winning penalty for us to win the League Cup.
Not even the league. I don't like you.
Anyway, listen, I things will look all it takes is a few wins, and we all forget about this whole nightmare scenario. I mean, and I know with football, right? You have people, teams go on bad runs, right? This has been one hell of a bad run for us over the last few weeks and month, if you like, and we just hope that things pick up again in the coming days. Guys, final words. I mean, we've beaten this final words for you, Deji.
Soji, it's always a massive pleasure, and I can't tell you how much these interactions help to lift my spirits after that sort of performance. Suddenly, I feel as if I've got a load off my chest, and I can go to bed and sleep easy. Come on, Brighton, and we're playing at home against Brighton. They're a damn good side, but if we play as we can beat them. I hope we play as we can, and I hope we beat them. Come on, you Spurs.
Thanks, Deji. That's a good one. Falabi?
Once again, thanks for having me. Nice chatting with you guys, and, well, still needed to get a lot more off my shoulders, that's for sure. But got quite a bit off my shoulders. Tomorrow is another day. We live to fight another day. That's all. And hopefully we sort out some things before the Brighton game, mentally and physically, of those players. We sort out something with, and I hope those players, what I really hope is I hope those players go and watch this game. I really do. And I hope those players go and watch this game and they feel ashamed of their performance, each and every single one of them, individually and as a team. That's what I hope for.
Thanks very much, Falabi. Iga, you want to have the last word?
I want to say thank you so much for hosting this show again. It's been a pleasure for us to vent our frustrations and our angst on the team that we love so much. Thank you for my special guest, my gentleman, that we shared our views with. Once again, your knowledge for Spurs and love for Spurs comes out avidly. I'm off to, I don't know whether you can see here, to buy a new laptop. I've broken my laptop in frustration again at Tottenham. I slammed my laptop like this because it's like the third
Don't do
laptop.
that
Tottenham
again.
owe me 3 laptops
They're
this
not
season.
worth it. Oh, God.
I slammed the thing down like this. I said, "This is useless team," and I broke my laptop. Look, I've gone and broken my laptop again for that. So Tottenham owe me. Mr. Levy owes me another laptop now. So I'll be sending the bill to Enoch PLC
Good luck with that.
for ruining another laptop.
You should send your bill to those players, to the players. I think you should send your
Okay,
bill
I'm
to
seeing to the players. I'll send it to Lucas Moura and Sleepy Sanchez. I'm sure they'll get me a new one for that. But yeah, thank you so much. At least we've got to laugh in the face of misery today, you know. We've done a middle finger up at misery today, and we just laugh at our team. And for Brighton, we will look bright again, and we'll most probably beat them. I'm going to be hopeful that we can beat them and remain in the top 4. It's like the phantom. We're like phantom top 4, isn't it? We're there, but we're not really there.
And please make sure you lock up your laptop. That's my only advice.
Yes, I will do.
Guys, it's been an amazing pleasure having you guys. You guys, thank you so much for your support and being here at all time at short notice and all that. And I can't thank you guys enough. I mean, you make this so much fun, you know. And I know that I didn't actually think I would run this show today, to be honest. I felt really bad. Like you, my phone brought the brunt of it. You know, when at one point I just threw the phone. Thankfully, it landed on a soft surface, you know. I've never been so frustrated in my whole life. I got off lightly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I'm normally cool and calm, but today was not. I wasn't cool and calm today at all, you know. I don't even want to talk about the Michael King goal, but even though it was a good goal, but not a good. I mean,
one in a million.
You know, but hey,
one in a million. If you does that 100 times, if you done it a million times, you'll never do that all like that again.
Luck, you know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, guys. It's been an amazing pleasure. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on,
going to go
Spurs.
to bed.
Good night, everybody. But I'll be get